Jalen Ramsey is the newest member of the refined Super Bowl contending Pittsburgh Steelers. A very different offseason for them, unlike one that they've had in years. So I asked the question, fellas, does the Jalen Ramsey trade make the Pittsburgh Steelers a Super Bowl contender? The full details of the trade are Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith with a 7th-round pick to the Steelers for Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 5th is, I believe, what it was, which I think is pretty insane. I don't understand it from the Dolphins side of things, but I think we all get it from the Steelers. They are all in. They're ready to go with Aaron Rodgers, the $10 million man at quarterback. Dean, you are the Jet fan. The Aaron Rodgers Steelers, I'll let you get it started. Are they Super Bowl contenders?
I just don't see it. I know that you guys are higher on the Steelers than I am. I just think in the NFL it's really hard to win with an older roster. I think youth and durability prevails in the NFL and being able to stay healthy through a full season. And we've seen through the years that these older players get hurt more often than not. And, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers led the Jets to a 5-win season last year. Like, the offense was good. They had a good O-line. They had good offensive weapons, and they couldn't get it done. Listen, I get it's going to be a new offensive system, but, has Arthur Smith really had great success in the NFL? I'm not really betting on that either. I think the Steelers are going to be heavily relying on their defense, and this isn't the Jalen Ramsey of old. This isn't prime Jalen Ramsey. They lost Minkah Fitzpatrick, who I thought is a big loss. At the same time as you're adding Jalen Ramsey, I don't know. Offensively, obviously, getting Jonnu Smith is amazing. They fleeced them in that regard, but the Minkah for Ramsey swap is kind of just
You think it's a wash?
Doesn't move the needle for me, no, personally. I think it causes a little bit of a distraction that doesn't need to be there.
Chris, what do you think? This is your boy.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it many times. We actually spoke about it with Tajay, but this is kind of the perfect opportunity for Ramsey to ride off into the sunset gracefully in a new role, not being an outside corner. And he was playing a lot of slot for us in Miami, but, I mean, he's going to kind of be the Swiss Army knife of this defense and kind of move all over the field because you have 2 outside boundary corners in Slay and Joey Porter. So Ramsey slots in there as the nickel safety, do-it-all kind of guy, and I think he's going to excel in that. I mean, you mentioned he's aging, 100%. He's lost his step for sure, but you move him closer to the line. I mean, in my lifetime watching football, Jalen Ramsey's the most physical corner I've ever watched in my time as a football fan. And you move a guy like that close to the line of scrimmage and let him make some plays up there, I think they definitely have. I mean, it's a Mike Tomlin defense. They're going to be a top 5 unit at worst. I don't think swapping Ramsey for Minkah is a loss in a way. I think it's fine. Their safety duo is okay too. You have Deshaun Elliott, who's fine. You have Juan Thornhill, who's fine. That's a tongue twister. But you have Mr. Thornhill, who he's fine. And then you could, if you're not in nickel sets, then I mean you're not gonna take Ramsey off the field. You know what I mean? You'll sub one of those guys out and have Ramsey be the strong safety. He's gonna be in the box all game long.
Agree.
All game long. If you need him to play over the top, you'll play him over the top. But he's going to be in the box primarily all game long. And, those guys in the NFL nowadays who are mismatches near the line of scrimmage, all these talented tight ends, all these talented slot receivers.
One of those nights, bro.
Yeah, slot receivers. You get a guy like Jalen Ramsey to kind of be the guy to jam them up at the line of scrimmage. I think it's going to be pretty sick. Is this team a Super Bowl contender? I don't know. It's hard for me to think a team with Aaron Rodgers is a Super Bowl contender. I like them getting Jonnu because, like you said, you basically got Jonnu for nothing in a way. You know what I mean? He's just kind of an add-on on the trade. I wonder if they're going to pay him, but we'll see what happens with that. A team with Jonnu Smith as basically your number 2 weapon, I don't know how much I could believe that you're a Super Bowl contender.
Roman Wilson.
I don't mind them trading away Minkah. Because when you go out and bring in Aaron Rodgers, it becomes a 1-year window. We saw it with the Jets last year. you're playing for 1 year when you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So I don't mind it. I think Jalen Ramsey's probably a better football player right this current second, but I mean it's close, man. Minka's a dog, bro. He's one of them ones, and like he has 4 or 5 years younger than Ramsey. So he's only 2 years younger.
He's 28.
Damn.
Ramsey's 30.
I thought Minka was like.
Minka's been in the league
like
for
he's been here
for a minute.
He's in Miami for
still,
been in the league for a minute. You said something interesting at the start of all that. You said us in regards to the Dolphins.
I was gonna comment on that.
Is it still us, Chris?
It gotta be us, bro. It gotta be us.
Is it you and Tua against the world now?
Yeah, it's gonna be me and Tua against the world. I'm a root for the Steelers, I guess. I have to root for Ramsey. Like I want to see Ramsey ball out.
Right.
I'm just not gonna like go out of my way to hype up an Aaron Rodgers led team. I just don't.
So the hate seep.
Yeah,
hate
that's what I said in the
yeah.
chat. Like I'm a hater like to the core. You know what I mean? Like the hate's can always prevail. So I'm gonna keep hating on Aaron Rodgers. That's Jalen Ramsey. Love Jalen Ramsey. He not that great to stop my hate for Aaron Rodgers. So
They just remind me. I'm sorry, Tom.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
yeah.
let you talk in a sec, but they just
Are you gonna
remind me.
allow him to talk.
Well, I just want to get this thought across before I. This team just reminds me of the last 2 years of the Jets, like the roster construction. Like you're getting older, you're getting these like, Band-Aids basically just to try your hand at a Super Bowl. But like, I don't see a world where it works out for them.
So here's the difference between your franchise and the Steelers. One has a history of dysfunction, and the other has a history of functionality year over year. So
Mike
I
Tomlin
get
ain't
it.
no Bob Saleh either.
No. I totally
Very
agree with
established
that. I think the
coach.
coaching is completely different defensively. But once you get to Arthur Smith, it's like, all right, well,
the Artie Smith, Aaron Rodgers offense. We're getting a little bit of
Sounds
both.
disgusting.
Nate Hackett.
Hey,
Sounds
it
disgusting.
sounds like a great time for Jonnu Smith.
it sounds like Artie Smith is going to call run plays, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
He's audible and out of every
checking
single
out
one
of
them.
every
and thrown into Romeo Wilson. Bro.
Right.
Roman.
Roman Wilson.
Get it right.
No, I said that on purpose.
throwing
bro.
quick slants
I know
to
you
Jonnu
did.
Smith, but actually just throwing it to
End
the
arounds to
linebacker.
Jonnu Smith.
You're
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Hey.
It just doesn't feel like it's going to go well. I think they're probably going to win 8-9 games like the Steelers always do.
I think they cracked double
Bro, they're
digits.
breaking
Yeah.
double
Defense on
digits.
paper is
One of the best in the
gnarly,
league,
bro.
yeah.
It's gnarly.
So there's one problem with all that. Not to make
Yeah.
this a whole Steelers video, but you better fucking pay TJ Watt. Like,
This is a Steelers video.
it's not to make
Quite literally is,
but like
but yeah.
not to make it it's for Jalen Ramsey, but like, what are we doing? We're fucking around with the best defensive player in potentially the league, like pinching pennies with this guy. What are we doing?
Right, and you're like, you just made you just pushed all your chips in
Yes,
with Rodgers
yes.
and Ramsey. Like, you need me.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm sure he'll get paid.
Yeah.
Like after this, I'm sure like they'll get something done within the next few days.
They have
probably.
to.
They do, but they also, like, I know I get we're all in, we're pushing all of our chips in, but, like, they actually don't have a quarterback next season. And
Yeah.
the Steelers actually just need to watch their cap space for next season. Like, they need to be able to bring somebody in, whether it's, they're probably going to
You've also just positioned
draft
yourself to
one.
not do
Yeah,
that.
I mean their plan is.
Yeah, but-
their plan right now is.
Your plan can't be, like, let's draft a rookie quarterback and start him immediately,
Well, no, they drafted a rookie quarterback. The plan is Will Howard as of right now.
brother.
They'll
I'm not
fucking
saying it's
start
a
Will
good
Howard
plan.
next year if
What
they have
round-
to.
what
yeah,
round
they
pick was Will
might
Howard?
abandon that plan next
What round pick was
offseason.
Will Howard?
Like a 4th rounder.
Yeah, that ain't the plan, bro. I promise you that ain't the plan.
I think it is.
That ain't the plan. There's no shot that's the plan.
Hey,
It's
he's
a fourth round
Pittsburgh
pick.
kid, man.
It's not the plan.
PA kid,
no,
man.
they're gonna go into free agency
respect
next
on
season
Will
looking to
Howard,
get a
man.
quarterback.
I'm sure they'll bring another guy in.
100%.
But I don't think you don't sign TJ Watt to
No.
save
But
money for
I'm
a
just
quarterback
saying
next year.
that maybe you think twice about a structure of a TJ Watt deal. That's why it's taking longer than it probably should because they don't have the quarterback situation sorted out.
I guess,
really.
I guess, but that's just dumb. Man.
It is silly, but
I
that's
just-
what I think
don't
is happening.
think that's where their head's at.
I think he's just asking to be the highest.
Yeah,
paid
he just
defensive
wants
player
a
of all time
gross
this
amount of
year,
money, and they're
like,
nickel and diming him.
Well,
Yeah.
Myles Garrett just so happened to break the entire mold for what defensive
Right.
linemen were going to get paid and got $40 million. So every franchise now is a little bit hesitant about it, and understandably so. It's quarterback money, but I mean it's TJ Watt. Like, what are we doing? give the man all the money in the world.
17 sacks
Well, that
walking out the door.
contract's
You know?
interesting
Yeah.
because the Browns are just a caca-doo-doo organization. So it's, you know.
It's in the
They
name.
set the standard for quarterbacks, for defensive
Like,
linemen.
the Browns shouldn't be setting any standards for anything, if we're being honest. So
They set the standard for poverty.
exactly.
So,
Right.
Tom, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so are the Steelers contenders? I'm not there yet for the same reason you guys are.
That's the trend tonight.
I know, yeah. We're all gonna be
fuck.
we're all gonna be so conscious of it now. So the Steelers offense just isn't dynamic. There's not enough home run hitting players, guys that can make big time plays, and guys that can elevate come playoff time, because the Steelers have made the playoffs with much worse before. They'll probably get to the playoffs, but to take down one of these top dogs, these guys are going to have to step up their game on that side of the ball, and I just don't know if I trust them to do that. Your defense can't carry you to a Super Bowl, and that clearly is the goal here. As far as the trade itself, I think it's interesting. You rarely see player-for-player swaps in the NFL. Two guys that are Ramsey, a little past his prime, but still a top dog, and Minka, who's in his prime. So that was really interesting. And the Steelers being this active in the offseason in the way they're doing it is really interesting to see. I wonder what really did light a fire under them. They've been the epitome of mid for the past how many years? They're 9-8 or whatever, and all of a sudden they just kicked it into high gear. That's pretty cool to see.
Probably just not having any quarterback options, but Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers,
Probably, yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
kind of puts you in a corner. But
Yeah.
You
That's
got
true.
a 41-year-old quarterback. I mean, what do you expect them to do?
Right.
They kind of have no choice but to go all in.
you got outbid for Fields. You lost Russell Wilson.
I think this was potentially their best case scenario. Even then, like, I understand you're saying they got outbid for Fields, but you get Fields, I'm sorry, but I'm not looking at this roster the same way I'm looking at it now. Me personally, where I'm at with this team is I think they are Super Bowl contenders. This defense is nasty, and Aaron Rodgers has long been one of the best at taking care of the football over his career. I don't think that necessarily changes. I think he has a 2 tight end set that Arthur Smith is going to run over and over and over again. Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren are great running backs. Well, we'll see with Caleb, but I think this team is built to win a whole lot of games, and I still think Rodgers has some of it left in the tank. Enough. I mean, look, I'll put it like this. We saw what Brett Favre did when he left the New York Jets, went to the NFC Championship. It seems like these two have a lot of parallels in their career. I wouldn't put it past the Steelers to go to the AFC.
Like you don't even know NFL history. You don't even know NFL history. You don't even know.
What?
Brett Favre was very good on the Jets. He got hurt. The
Yeah,
Jets
well-
were very good.
Well, where'd you guys go?
Well, he was hurt. So
And then he went to the Vikings and went to the NFC Championship.
So freaking Kellen Clemens was our quarterback.
What did Aaron Rodgers do? He got
He sucked.
hurt,
let us
brother.
You know what I
5
will
win.
say though too, like, shit, I'm all for bashing Aaron Rodgers. I'll do that. We could cancel the podcast and do that for 2 hours right now. But the Jets defense fell off a cliff last year that they weren't supposed to fall off of. And that made life a little bit harder than it was supposed to be for Aaron Rodgers. Was he bad? Was he terrible? Was he a locker room cancer? Yes. But the defense fell off. I don't expect the Pittsburgh Steelers defense to just fall off. So just throwing that out there.
Right, the Steelers can trot just about anybody out there and still put together a damn good
Yeah.
defense. So you put together this group of studs, it's scary hours, like you said. Minimum top 5 defense in the NFL.
We all watched though the Jets multiple times in the first half of last season have opportunities to win games down the stretch with Aaron Rodgers in control. The defense had nothing to do with it. They got it.
I agree.
They had him to a tie game with Aaron Rodgers last drive of the game. It was like 3 times in the first 6 weeks, and Aaron Rodgers came up short every single time.
So I think you're making a lot of a situation where a 40-year-old quarterback was coming back from an Achilles tear, which is the
And he's
most
a year
devastating.
older, bro.
But if we're being honest, it's the most devastating injury in the sport. And then if you look at down the stretch, Aaron Rodgers was very good for you guys. Whether you want to admit it or not,
it didn't
Aaron
lead
Rodgers
to any wins.
Doesn't matter because your defense had fallen off a cliff by that point. So I'm just saying, yes, it's a tale of 2 halves of the season, but we are talking about a first half of the season where Aaron Rodgers, a 40-year-old quarterback, was coming back from a torn Achilles. The most devastating injury in all of sports.
Yeah, and he's not getting any
And look
younger.
at what Kirk Cousins did when he came back from a torn Achilles. He looked like a fucking shell of himself.
And he still sucks. And he didn't get a job this year. So, like, you're not going to tell me
Rodgers
that he's
played
going to.
well down the stretch of the season.
Kirk Cousins isn't coming back into being this starting quarterback. Like, he's not getting starting opportunities anymore.
But Kirk got worse as the season progressed. Aaron got better.
Aaron got better in like garbage time. Shit didn't matter no more.
Word.
And like you have to, Achilles injuries or not, you have to like factor in the fact that on the money situations when shit actually mattered, he shrunk a little bit. He did.
And they added Devontae Adams.
No,
like,
but he
they
really,
had Devontae
really did.
Adams and Garrett Wilson. If you don't get better after adding Devontae Adams, yeah, there's a big old problem. I expected him to do better than in the first half of the season. But, like, he wasn't blowing me away. He wasn't blowing you away. I know he wasn't blowing you. He won 5
Aaron
freaking
wasn't.
games, bro. It's like they didn't look good. It didn't look good. He was
He's a
4
married
feet-
man now, bro.
Allegedly. It's kind of like...
Allegedly, he's got that ring on his finger.
Ain't nobody
brother.
could prove that. Ain't nobody could prove that, bro.
She goes to another school.
Anyway, I just don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. He hurt me on such a deep level. It might be biased, might be a personal thing. I don't care. He hurt me too deeply.
Like I said, I don't question that they can win games, 10, 11, 12 games. I don't care. It's just, I just don't believe that come playoff time, they're going to be able to hang with the Ravens and the Bills. And that's who you got to beat to go to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs,
So
there's 3 teams that are exponentially
Chiefs
better.
too, yeah.
I don't agree. Like,
You don't think those 3 teams are way
I don't think
better?
Aaron Rodgers showed you anything last year
I don't
that you can
think they're-
come up here and confidently say he can hang with those guys.
Those teams are way better. No, I really don't.
But why?
Because I do think this defense is going to be able to keep you in every single
But they
game you
were
play.
that last year.
Yeah, the Steelers
With
defense.
Russell Wilson.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is still much better than Russell Wilson.
Right,
I
but
think much is a stretch.
How much better is
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers than Russell Wilson?
10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
No.
Better.
No.
That's just not true.
That is just true.
Well, we're going to make this a where are you ranking Aaron Rodgers thing. He's not a top 15 quarterback anymore.
He's a top half of the league quarterback. Yes, he
No,
is.
he's not.
He's
bro.
not.
he is. Yes,
He's
he
not.
is.
Fuck, he's not, dude.
He's not. He's just not.
He's not. Bro.
I'll die on the sword. Aaron Rodgers is still good at football.
He could be.
He's good.
yeah, he's good.
Russell
at football in the
Wilson's still
grand
good at
Is the-
football.
compared to us.
is the 14th or 15th best
diet.
quarterback in football enough to win the Steelers a Super Bowl, though?
No, and he's not even.
As
that.
long as in the biggest moments, he is better than that.
And he can't move in the pocket. And he's old. And they have only DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith. Yeah.
Yo, was
I'm
Bo
out.
Nix a top half of the league quarterback last year?
For portions of the season, in its
Just,
entirety,
no, just
I-
answer the
yeah,
fucking question.
yeah.
bro.
Aaron Rodgers was better than Bo Nix last year.
All right.
No, he
That
wasn't.
wasn't even the question, and you're just dragging it. That wasn't
No,
where I
he
was going with
wasn't.
this at all. And you're just wrong. Come
That's
on,
not
bro.
wrong. That's not wrong.
That's wrong, bro. Come on. Come on, bro.
But we look at Bo Nix's season, and we're like, that was incredible because he was a rookie. If we look at Aaron Rodgers and his numbers too, second half of the season, he was great.
Thing is, it's just my question had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. All I'm asking was Bo Nix a top half of the league quarterback last year?
Probably yes.
Okay.
I'd have
Did
to.
the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL last year?
Yeah.
Okay. They were no match for the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. No match. Not even
Bo
close.
Nix was a rookie in his first playoff game.
No, I agree. I'm
Against a
just
Sean
Aaron
McDermott
Rodgers is
defense.
also washed in what will be his 30th playoff game.
So we don't
there's a
think Aaron
big-
Rodgers
but
is
there's
getting better
but
is
there's
the
a big
point,
Hold
too.
on, but there's a big difference between a quarterback playing in his first playoff game against the Sean McDermott defense and a quarterback who has played 17, 18 years and has seen everything.
So the Broncos lost because Bo Nix wasn't prepared for the moment.
Bo was awful. Bo was not good.
I agree he wasn't good. But like, my
It certainly
point is just
didn't help.
My point is just the teams are very similar. It's a middle of the pack quarterback with an elite defense and not enough weapons to be able to compete with the Bills, Chiefs, and
Broncos also had no run game. I expect the Steelers to have a very good run game.
Sure.
That makes a difference.
I
in
agree.
playoff
They'll
time
have
too.
a better run game, but I don't know. They're just like not until I see it am I gonna even consider putting the Steelers in that tier with those teams. No, absolutely not.
Also,
That's fine.
Aaron didn't have a better season.
So what? Are you ranking the Steelers over any of those teams, or you just think they're in the same tier?
No, I think they are a Super Bowl contender. I think they can win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
is what
you're
I'm saying.
crazy, bro.
So who's in that team? So who's a contender to you?
So I could.
We don't gotta do like
If you
make
want
this
me,
the
if you're
video.
going to
want
ask that, if you're going to ask that question, then I'm going to answer the question.
Yeah.
I do want him to do it.
Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Steelers in the AFC. If I'm missing a team,
Your
off the top
precious
of my head.
Chargers.
They're better than the Chargers. They're better than the
They're
Broncos.
better than the Chargers. They're definitely better than the Chargers. They're
No,
better
the
than the
fuck
Broncos.
they're not.
Yes, they are.
That's
No,
a
the fuck
stretch,
they
bro.
Yes, they
are.
are.
The
Yes,
Broncos,
they are.
they're
not.
better
They
than
are
the
better
Broncos?
than the Chargers.
Oh my gosh,
They are
bro.
definitely better
You-
than the Chargers.
You're crazy, bro.
That's not being crazy, bro. They're better than the
No,
Chargers.
You're crazy because you're the Chargers guy, bro. What?
I'm not saying the Chargers are a bad football team, but they're better than the
No,
Chargers.
the fuck they're not.
Yes, the fuck they are.
No. No.
Their defense is literally miles above the Chargers' defense. Miles. And the Chargers' offense is not special yet. It's getting there. It's not special yet. And, like, whether we like to admit it or not, what did Justin Herbert just do in the last playoff game that we
Oh,
watched?
come
Like,
on.
Like, I'm sorry, but what are we doing here? Like, no,
and
they
what
are
did
not
Aaron
just...
Rodgers do the last time we saw him, bro?
He had, like, 18 touchdowns over
Oh
the
my
last, like,
You're
7 weeks of the
delusional, bro.
season. Like, what are
Why
we
do you
talking
mean
about?
writing Aaron
'cause-
Rodgers for?
Because they were
I'm just
force feeding the ball to
stating facts,
Devontae
bro.
Adams, not trying to win anymore. They
Okay,
knew
so
the
what
season
did
was
Justin
over.
Herbert do in the regular season last year? He led the league in touchdown to interception ratio. We're talking about the regular season, right?
Yeah, but then...
Justin Herbert shit the bed in the playoffs, but at least he got
Okay,
there.
but if we're talking about strictly rosters, then the Steelers have a better roster than the Chargers do. Like, what are we talking about here?
I know,
Both have
but you're
great coaches.
forgetting to weigh in quarterback play. The elite quarterback play
Rodgers
matters.
is not bad at. Like,
I'm not saying he's bad, but we're talking about
I'm
the
saying
Mahomes.
the rest
Allen.
of this roster is so good that Aaron Rodgers will also have a
You're right,
better
bro.
season.
Roman Wilson at wide receiver too. Like,
Right, that
They
offense
gonna really get
like,
it done.
can't.
The rest of the roster is good.
no, they gonna really get it done with Roman Wilson.
Okay, fine, that's cool. I believe in a Roman Wilson breakout. That's just how I feel. I like Roman Wilson, the prospect.
All right, so now
give
the
a fuck.
Steelers are
Roman
contenders
Wilson
because Roman
breakout.
Wilson's going to
No,
break
but
out.
he said, but
He's
like,
dying on a Roman
I
Wilson
think Roman
breakout.
Wilson is a good football player.
Why are
I
you
think he's going to be
doing this,
good.
bro?
I'm just saying.
I thought we all hated Aaron Rodgers, bro. Why are you the Aaron Rodgers guy now? Because he's off the Jets?
Hell yeah.
Oh my god,
You're a weirdo.
Yeah,
No,
you-
I think it's a better situation for him. It's just that simple. I think they're going to be
So
great.
they're the fourth best team in the AFC.
Better, but yeah, you're.
And suddenly Russell Wilson sucks because it
I never
helps
said he sucks.
because it
Never
helps his
said he
I
sucks.
argument.
don't even get
'Cause it helps
behind
his
them being the
argument.
fourth best
Never
team
said
in
he
the
sucks.
AFC.
Start talking about the
but,
Giants, he'll be good again.
Aaron
If
Rodgers
they
is
in
a-
a tier with the big three, then the Chargers are in that tier too. They have to be. I think the
I would
Steelers
agree,
and
yeah.
Chargers
Would you-
are in the
okay,
same
so
tier.
I would
That's
agree.
not
So
that
here's
tier.
my
And
thing.
it was the same thing I said with the fucking Chargers last year too. You have to respect the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. They
Yeah.
are just in a different stratosphere than everyone else in the AFC. And sure,
Yeah,
teams
super
are making
clearly,
it
too.
closer, but you have to respect those teams, bro. They are in a tier of their own, those three. If the Steelers are your fourth best team,
They're-
fine.
they're-
That's
so
that's
what I was
completely
about
fine,
to
but
say
they are
is-
not in that tier, and they are not a Super Bowl contender because you will have to get past two of those teams in the playoffs. It's not fucking happening. The same thing I said to the Chargers. You will have to go through two of those teams. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening for the Chargers either. One of those three teams will be
No. I agree that it won't happen for the Chargers.
Right, but it's not happening for the Steelers. So
But it
41-year-old
definitely
Aaron
could happen
Rodgers
for
with
the
Roman
Steelers.
Wilson is not getting past the Ravens and Chiefs in
Bro,
back-to-back rounds.
I think this
the
team
Bills
is.
and
I
Ravens
think this
in
team is
back-to-back
built for playoff football. That's just how I feel
Yeah,
about it.
bro.
They are.
The AFC has the
What
three
fuck?
best
Okay,
quarterbacks in the league.
Time out. What the fuck have the Ravens done in the playoffs?
They're a perennial contender every year.
But
They
what
have,
the
they
fuck
have a
have they done
top
in the playoffs?
three quarterback in the league.
But that's the same guy that's saying Lamar Jackson hasn't done anything in the playoffs and has choked every single time he's been there. So, like, okay, all right, let's talk about it. What the
I
fuck
agree,
have the
but
Ravens
the
done?
Ravens have a floor of making it to the second round with AFC championship aspirations. The Steelers have a floor of winning 8 games, but being terrible the second half of the year. They're a
Winning
team that's
8 games
they're-
with
they've
shit
had a
quarterback play.
great defense for the
And it's
past.
never 8, it's 9, 'cause
They've
they're
had a
above
great
500.
defense for the past 10 years. The same style that you're saying is great for playoff football, and every single year they get worse as the season goes on, and they go into the playoffs and they get their backs blown out. Lamar Jackson loses. The Steelers get their backs blown
Okay.
out every year in the playoffs and look like they do not belong. They
Yes.
don't belong.
Okay, now-
and Aaron Rodgers is going to change that.
Now,
You're delusional.
Hold on, let's talk about it, though.
Delusional.
Let's talk about it. Who have their quarterbacks been the last few years? Please tell me.
Russell Wilson, we were sitting here hyping up Russell Wilson when he got in there last year. And then he fell
Because he's better
off.
than Justin Fields.
And then he fell
That is
off at
not
the
saying
end.
much.
And then he fell off at the end the same way Aaron Rodgers is going to fall off at the
Because
end.
his fucking quarterback is Justin
This
Fields
is the
now.
Steelers' way.
Okay, but
This
I'm
is
not-
the Steelers' way to
advocate.
start out good, to get everyone hoping this is the year. Maybe they win 10
Bro,
games instead
oh
of
my
9,
God.
and they'll be a Super Bowl contender. And guess what?
Bro.
They will sneak their way into the playoffs, and they will get their backs blown out again because they are not on the same tier as the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bills.
We're talking
it's
about
that
this.
Simple.
We're talking about this
It's that
like
simple.
they didn't have a washed-up Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges.
Yo, bro,
Russell
Aaron
Wilson,
Rodgers is
Justin Fields.
washed, bro. He's washed. He is washed.
He's better than every single one of those
That
guys
doesn't
and miles
matter.
above them.
That doesn't matter.
Miles
He's
above
still
them.
washed, and he is not a Super Bowl quarterback at age 41.
Bro.
He's just not.
He's
The
just
rest
not
of this roster is good enough for Aaron Rodgers to be a Super Bowl capable quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers has had good rosters for the last 15 years of his career, and he's won.
Right, even
one
when
Super
Aaron
Bowl.
Rodgers was at his best.
I just don't
Aaron
like.
Rodgers'
We talk
defenses
about
have
this all
been
the time.
consistently-
It's my famous line. You have to have a quarterback playing at a top 5 level to win the Super Bowl.
I was just gonna say
It's
that. yeah.
that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple.
I just don't think it's
What
insane.
have we seen over the last 10 years? What quarterback that won the Super Bowl wasn't playing at a top 5 level at that time? No one. No one. No one.
You can go back to like only
Peyton
Nick
Manning,
Foles.
but that was a historical defense.
Historical.
But Peyton was actually potentially one of the worst quarterbacks
They
I've ever
are
seen
an
at that
out.
point.
They are the
They are
outlier of
You can
all
say that all you want.
outliers.
That's fine. Okay.
They were a historically great defense. The Steelers defense, sure, they could be the best in the league. They ain't no historically great defense, bro. They fucking Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, fucking no fly zone. Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, bro. They had T.J. Ward, bro. They had dogs out there at every single position, bro. Steelers defense is good. They're an all-time. You can make the case they had the best single-season defense of all-time history.
No, I think that
Top
is the
three,
greatest defense.
top 3
ever.
at worst. The Steelers team is not that. And again, they are the outlier of all outliers. Your quarterback has to be playing at a top 5 level to win a Super Bowl, especially in today's NFL when you're going to have to get past Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow. And not Burrow,
Well, not Burrow,
Lamar.
but-
Even
Yeah.
Burrow if he gets there.
Yeah.
Good luck, Aaron Rodgers, in a duel against Joe Burrow. Let's go Bengals.
I think that's crazy. I think Rodgers is still capable of playing at a top 10 level. And maybe that's just me.
I think it is.
That's
just
not
It's just you.
enough.
That's yeah.
That's
like,
the thing.
that's-
And
yeah,
you keep
exactly.
moving it up. First, it's he's not bad. Then it's he's top 15. Now it's he's top 10. Are you going to say he's going to be a top 5 quarterback?
No.
Because
but I
that's
think
what you
he's
need to
capable-
say to back your argument.
But that's
too.
not true.
It is, though.
When
It
you
is,
have
though.
the single best defense in the NFL, that is not true.
and no offensive weapons, but DK Metcalf, bro.
DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith. And then,
oh come on,
All right.
dude!
Let's
you
go.
yourself.
End the video.
But don't
End
forget
the video.
precious
End the
moments
video.
like this, bro. DK,
We just gonna
Jonnu-
keep going
but
in
you're
They
this
tried
hole.
out
But
Robert
you're
Woods,
saying
bro.
this-
Bobby Trees.
But you're saying
Bobby
this as if it's
Trees.
impossible for another weapon to step up. Like,
Who?
Calvin Austin, bro?
no, bro, Roman Wilson.
Oh, my gosh. You make me sick. Wrap it
Bro.
up. Tell them to
I
subscribe.
can't wait for the Roman Wilson breakout. We're coming
Nah,
back to this fucking video.
crazy,
This
bro.
fucking video. And then I'm going to tell all of you fuckers, and I'll take my victory lap just like I always do, because I said it first.
Always do.
Fuck all of you.
We'll be here. We'll let you take your
How
victory
often
lap
do you
when the
actually
Steelers
Steelers
right?
win
I
the
feel
Super
like
Bowl,
no,
you're
not
When
there.
they
that-
start
not
out
right that
6-0,
often.
bro, take your victory lap. When they're 7-1, 8-1, take your victory lap. When they get their backs blown out in the playoffs, we're gonna bend you over and blow your back out on the podcast.
So, okay.
On the Patreon.
So here's my thing, right? Say the Steelers go into the playoffs and they make the AFC Championship and beat one of those guys on the way. Was it a failure?
Yes. Because that's my point.
That's not
to
Super Bowl
be a
contender.
Super Bowl team and win the Super Bowl, you have to beat 2 of
But
those.
you just said they're getting their backs blown out by whichever one of the teams.
Then
that
I'll
they're
be
playing.
wrong that if I pick the Ravens to beat the Steelers and the Steelers beat them in the playoffs. But my point still stands.
Like, I
that
can't sit here and
But you're
fucking say
saying
that
they're-
they're guaranteed to win a Super Bowl. Nobody can say that about
No,
any
but
team
right,
right now.
but-
Of course not.
But I am saying the Steelers are a Super Bowl contender and could go
But
on
this
a
is
run.
the same thing I said about the Chargers when you said they were a Super Bowl contender. To go to the Super Bowl.
That was wrong. Justin
you-
Herbert shit
right.
the fucking bed. What do
Right,
you want me
he
to
didn't
tell
even get the chance to go against either of those guys.
Nope.
But to go to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to beat 2 of those guys.
Yep.
So no, it doesn't matter if they beat one of those guys. It doesn't. You have to beat 2 of them to go to the Super Bowl.
I just think.
And then good luck with Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, or Jaden Daniels.
So they
Good luck.
make it to the AFC Championship and they aren't going to be considered Super Bowl contenders after that, even if they lose? Like they weren't a Super Bowl contender?
I mean, I think there's a 0%
premise
chance
is-
the Steelers win the Super Bowl. So
Okay. I think they're a contender.
I mean, I just don't be going. I did this last year too. Like I narrow my list down as time goes on. I just don't think everyone's a Super Bowl contender. It's like
Right.
5 or 6 teams at most.
And they're
No,
just
I
not
agree.
one of
I-
those teams.
They're just
I would
not.
say there are 6 teams in the NFL that can win a Super Bowl right now.
Name them.
Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, and then in the NFC, Rams and Eagles.
No Lions.
No.
The thing is, though, like, sure, the Steelers just aren't in that tier
They're just
with those
not,
teams.
right,
But
they're
like,
just- they're just not.
better
But here's
than-
the thing.
and-
I don't think they're necessarily in the tier with that team, with those teams
No Vikings?
necessarily.
All right, so
I got to think about that.
okay. Well, the Vikings are better than the Steelers. I'm gonna put it right
It
there.
all depends on JJ.
They're better
I
than
believe
the
in them.
Steelers.
So, yes, 7. I think there's 7 teams
That's
that can win a Super
OD
Bowl.
contenders, bro. That's a
But the
quarter of the
Vikings-
5 or
league.
6. I added one
Vikings
fucking
probably
team.
aren't winning a Super Bowl either.
No, they're probably not in JJ's first year.
yeah.
But, like, I'm saying, I said 6 teams. You said, oh, but not the Vikings? I said 6 teams. He said 5 or 6. Is that not fucking 5 or 6?
I
Point
know,
is
but
the
the
Steelers
thing
aren't.
is, like this isn't even
Like-
a hot take, but I would put all of my money, all of it, everything I have saved, that the team representing the AFC in the Super Bowl is the Bills, Chiefs, or Ravens. I will put everything, like, and we don't have to make a bet because that's not fair to you. But I'm just saying, like, I can almost guarantee it will be.
I
one
mean,
of
like,
those
no
things.
shit, you can almost fucking guarantee
Right.
that,
So
though.
then the Steelers aren't contenders,
Bro,
You just lost.
You just lost.
no, that's not losing,
Yes,
though.
no, we got
Because,
you. We got you.
Yeah.
No, but
No.
you did it.
You
Because
said
almost
obviously.
guarantee is like, say, for example, 85% chance that those 3 teams
Okay,
make the
I'll
fucking
put
Super
it
Bowl.
at
Right.
a 100% chance. It's an 100% chance
No,
that one
that's
of
just wrong. No.
unless they all get like shot in the leg. Like,
So,
unless
there's a,
something
so
crazy
you say
happens.
85%. I'm just playing with that number. There's a 15% chance that another team represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. And if the Steelers are in that 15%, they're a fraction of that
They the whole
15%. That makes them a
15. They the whole
contender.
15. They the whole 15.
Obviously. Because the fucking Chiefs have like a 50% chance to represent the AFC.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
They do
the
it every
Steelers.
single year.
The Steelers aren't on
So,
that
like,
level.
if we're being honest, yes.
Not going to the Super
There's
Bowl.
just
bro.
no way. They're just not on the tier. Like, there's just no
You're
clearer
being
way we can
delusional,
explain
bro.
this.
You're
Like,
being
Listen,
delusional.
this is so good that I actually hope we're wrong now. I hope that we were able to
Be
play this
fucking
back.
up.
35-minute Steeler conversation.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow us on all of our socials. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Am I delusional or are these boys crazy? I think they're a little crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. But
What does
Aaron
Bob
Rodgers,
think?
Steelers, Super Bowl. See you later. And that was
Ball
Ball
game.
game.